Well, Betty, people have been asking for Steve Ballmer's head for a long time. Value investors have looked at the assets of the company and thought that they could be better deployed. I think a lot of people in technology have wished that Microsoft could take a different kind of position as things are really changing now in a world of mobility in the cloud. And Microsoft, while they've done very well in the cloud, they've kind of missed mobility despite many efforts over and over again. But I think a lot of people have blamed Steve Ballmer for not seeing a different Microsoft and have been asking for him to leadership change for quite a long time.
So do you think this was solely his decision, or do you think that he was forced out here?
No, I think it's a great question, and I think it was absolutely his decision. He's shuffled the deck chairs at Microsoft over and over again, so there was no logical successor that would have made this change really easy. Steve Ballmer was going to go when Steve Ballmer decided to go. Bill Gates had the common sense to go out of the top, but left Steve Ballmer holding the bag with a lot of issues sort of after the antitrust trials around the browser war.
Yeah.
And Steve Ballmer had guided through the company for very difficult times, but really did not assume a leadership position in the new era of technology that's emerged in the last, 5 years or so.
Cory, I imagine right away now there's going to be lots of bets on who's going to take over Microsoft. Who are the best candidates? Are you hearing anything so far? Have you heard any names before thrown out?
We've heard lots of different names from the senior ranks of Microsoft. Microsoft is a behemoth. It's a company with an enormous number of employees, disparate divisions. There's a sort of famous cartoon in the world of technology that sort of describes the org charts of other companies, and it shows the companies that revolve around a central CEO, like an Apple, or the companies that have various divisions. Microsoft's divisions were described in this cartoon as all separate entities with guns pointed at each other. So there were technologies within Microsoft that were developed to compete with other technologies, so the executives within those divisions wouldn't have to work with their colleagues across the campus. So there's going to be presumably a lot of fighting within Microsoft to see who might fundamentally take the leadership role there.
I can imagine a lot of vying for that spot, that one spot. Cory, as we recall, you interviewed Steve Ballmer when he was coming out talking about the tablet and how transformative that would be for Microsoft. The fact that he's going to retire in a year, he says in his press release that he's going to try to see Microsoft through this transformation. Is it also basically indicative that the transformation is not going well?
Well, I think a lot of companies have come and gone in the same time that Microsoft has still maintained a huge position in technology and in American business. So let's not call Steve Ballmer a failure, because so many other companies faced with what they were faced with just went away and folded up. I mean, during the bubble, we talked about the giants of technology, and the 3 or 4 names it would have included would have been Dell, Microsoft, WorldCom, and 3Com, right? Well, you throw in a Cisco or something, but very few companies have maintained a dominant position in business like Microsoft has, including during Steve Ballmer's tenure. But it was also a company that was very difficult to find a new way. They used the things they were very dominant in, principally their operating system and Microsoft Office, to find other businesses, sometimes in a monopolistic fashion, according to the source. But, we saw from these guys time and again was their inability to break into new markets. With the exception of the Xbox, some of their cloud computing services, they really never gained another giant business with the big businesses that they built.